Hey Spitfire people, I hope you're doing so well. How's it going? Happy Friday. Yeah. So it's almost, what holiday? Oh, right, Mother's Day, that's right. And usually if you were at school, you would probably be making something for your mom or someone who reminds you of a mom and fills a mother-like role for you. But you're probably not doing that right now. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that Mother's Day is coming. And if you normally give someone you love a Mother's Day gift, now's a good time to get started on it. We'll talk a little bit about that next week. I can't do too much for you because I don't have like the flower pot, for example, to give to you to decorate, but I have some ideas, so tune in next week. Today we're going to talk about family. And last week we read what? Golden Domes and Silver Lanterns, which explores one character's culture through color. And we talked about how we all have our own cultures, and sometimes that can be symbolized through items that might be a specific color. Like, well, we did that last week. We don't have to do it again today. Today we're going to talk about family history, but family history can also be mythological. So today we're going to read Gondra's Treasure by Linda Sue Park. I'm very excited about that book. But first, I want you to just close your eyes for a second, and I want you to think about what comes to mind when I say family. So there's usually this person or the people who take care of you every day. Sometimes there's someone who doesn't necessarily live in your home, but is around a lot, who may feel like family, like a grandparent or maybe a close neighbor who's like a parent to you. Do you have siblings that you love and care about? Pets? Okay, so those are the characters. Think about where your family exists. You've got presumably a place where you live, and you've got a story about where your family comes from, which we talked about a little bit last week. So sometimes our family's histories can kind of come up in the things that are in our home. So maybe there's a picture somewhere that that symbolizes a lot of special things for your family. So think about the setting. We'll talk about that more. And then think about the feeling of your home. Is it silly? Is it peaceful? Is it a little bit rowdy? Loud? Think about how your family feels to you. So all families are different. There are lots of families that look very different from your own, probably. Some families have one parent, some families have no parents, but a network of family members are taking care of children. Some families have two moms or two dads. Some families have siblings, some have half siblings that come and go. They don't always live with you. Families look like a lot of different things. So your family is wonderful, especially if you love them a lot. Okay. Do you want to read about a dragon family? Okay. Today's book is Gondra's Treasure by Linda Sue Park and illustrated by Jennifer Black Reinhardt. I got to meet Linda Sue Park one time. She was amazing. Oh, and Spitfire does not own the rights to this book. We're not making money off of this. My mom's family comes from the west. Dad's family is from the east. My name is Gondra, and I was born somewhere in the middle. In the west, dragons breathe fire, Mom said. Isn't that dangerous, I asked. Well, that's what I said when we first met, Dad said. In the east, dragons breathe mist. Mom shrugged. Compared to fire, it seems, pretty boring. Dad frowned. What did you say? Mom cleared her throat and spoke loudly. I said pretty. Mist is pretty. There's a picture of me when I was a baby. A teeny tiny flame is coming out from one nostril and a wisp of mist from the other. You were adorable, Mom said. The most beautiful baby dragon ever. Now I can breathe fire or mist whenever I want. Mist is great for hide and seek. But I'm not allowed to breathe fire unless Dad or Mom is with me. Some things are always true, right? No playing with fire. Both of my parents can fly. Mom has wings. Dad uses magic. Whenever I ask Mom to go faster, she always says the same thing. This is fast enough, sweetie. You don't want my wings to get tired, do you? That's the problem with wings, Dad says. I have wings like Mom, but I can't fly yet because they're too small. I won't know if I have flying magic until I'm bigger. When I grow up, if I have wings and flying magic, I'll be the fastest in the family. Dad's scales are mostly blue and green. He has a few red and gold ones too. My side of the family has bronze scales, Mom says. It's classier, not as garish. What does garish mean, I asked. Gaudy, flashy. Nothing wrong with a little flair, Dad said. Man, Dad and Mom are hard on each other. I like flashy, I said. I like classy too. Bronze, eh? Dad said. Well, whatever color they are, they're gorgeous. Mom blushed. Why, thank you, dear. I'm mostly bronze like my mom, but just the other day that I noticed that a few scales on my tail are starting to turn bluish green. Look at that, Dad exclaimed, just like your dear old dad. See? He was so excited that he made a huge cloud of mist and it started raining in the living room. Look at the goldfish. Do you see it? Mom's ancestors lived in caves full of treasure. What did they want with all that stuff? Dad asked. It was treasure, for heaven's sake, Mom said. Dad, everybody likes treasure. Some of Dad's family lived in lakes or rivers. The rest lived in clouds. Our treasure was a magic pearl that we could hold in just one claw, Dad said. Just one treasure? I asked. What, were you too lazy to search for more? Mom teased. Why have more than you need? Dad said. Mom's family sometimes had to fight humans to protect their treasure. Dad's family used the magic pearl to control the weather. They provided rain when humans needed it, and when they were angry, they could send floods. I don't want to fight humans, I said, or drown them. I want them to like me. Well, where I come from, humans love dragons, Dad said proudly. They make boats in the shape of dragons. Sometimes they dress up as dragons and dance in parades. Mom sighed. I'm sorry to say that in the West, humans haven't always loved dragons, but they do love stories about us. Living in a cave with treasure sounds fun. So does living in the clouds and making it rain with a magic pearl. Mom, Dad, how come we don't live in a cave anymore, or in the clouds? Times change, Mom said. Things aren't the same as they used to be. Besides, don't you like our house? Dad asked. Well, of course I do, but what happened to the magic pearl and all the treasure? Again? Mom rolled her eyes. You've asked us that 1,000,000 times. We've told you before, remember? Dad said. Oh, that's right. We don't need them anymore because I'm your treasure. The best treasure ever, Dad said. Mom smiled. Why have more than you need? The end. So, Gondra's treasure. That was cute, wasn't it? So East and West dragons. What kind of dragons do you think of when you think about dragons? So there's the Chinese New Year dragons, right, with the parade. And so those, I think, are what they mean by the East dragons. So most of Eastern dragon mythology comes from Chinese dragons. If you read the author's note in this book, I can send a picture of it. I can post a picture of it. I think I can post a picture of it. She mentions that the Eastern dragons were first found in Chinese paintings 7,000 years ago, probably because they found dinosaur bones and were inspired by them. And then Western dragons are more like the knights in shining armor, guarding the treasure in the caves. Kind of, if your parents have read you The Hobbit, that's a great book. Or if you've read The Hobbit, some of you are probably Hobbiting age. Not a Spitfire book, though. Western dragons are kind of the ones that the knights would do battle with and things like that. So, and there's a long history of mythology around dragons in European countries and places like that, too. So their family looked like a mom and a dad whose families, at least their distant families, came from two different parts of the dragon world. And then Gondra all by herself, no siblings, because why have more than you need? And so there are lots of families where there's just one treasure. So I was thinking that today we could do family portraits, but not in a normal way. What's a portrait? It's a portrait. Yes, it's a picture of people who kind of stand together and they smile, they do whatever. So today, I'm going to add it to the stack. There we go. I'm just going to keep a stack here of the books we read so we can always be reminded of how much we've accomplished together. Today, I thought we could make our own family portraits, but we want to think more holistically about what we mean by family. And what our family looks like. So, this is the part where you pause and you go get your journal or you go get a piece of paper and something to write and draw with. You can make this as colorful as you want or as not colorful as you want. And you know, I had to do a draft. I messed my first one up. So maybe you need 2 pieces of paper. Be prepared to try a couple times. And I'll still be here when you get back. All right, so family portrait. So I would like for you to consider in your family portrait the setting. And by setting, I mean maybe it's the home, the place where you sleep each night, and the cultural symbols and traditions that can be found in your home. I want you to think a little bit more hard about where you live and how it symbolizes who you are. So just like the colors we talked about last week, think about the little things in your house that kind of were passed down over generations or have a story associated with them that's special to your family. Sometimes we have to think kind of hard about this because a lot of the things that are normal to us we can take for granted. We don't even notice that they are very special to our family and that they don't exist everywhere else. So think a little bit hard about what's in your home that's very special and traditional for your family. I also want you to think about, obviously, the characters. So every family's different. Who's in yours? Goes back to that very first question today. When you close your eyes and you think about family, who do you think of? And then I also want you to make a bubble or a cloud or like something that you can capture the atmosphere of your family. So every family has like a culture. And I don't mean a culture like the culture that your family brought from another country. I also mean, or from centuries and centuries of living here. I also mean the kind of the attitudes, the mood, the feelings in your family. So my family, oh my gosh, my family growing up, we were so hard on each other. We made jokes all the time. It was just always, and we'd pick on each other a lot. And so I would say that my family mood was kind of funny, but maybe a little bit competitive too. The family I'm in now, my husband and I are both very dorky, and so I would say that my kids would probably say that our house is a little bit dorky. So think about the mood or the atmosphere of your family too. And if you can incorporate it into the setting and the characters, do that. Maybe one of your parents is a big Star Trek fan, and so you put a Star Trek t-shirt on them or something like that. Just think about what makes your family very special and unique. And I want to see these. Send me a picture to amanda@thespitfireclub.org, or post them in comments on Facebook if that's where you're finding this this video today. All right, I can't wait to learn all about your family, so please do send it. And I can share mine next week too if you want. But this is really about you. All right. I had some pictures come in this week and I forgot to print them off. So next week I'll show you some pictures of Spitfire in action from all your friends doing Spitfire, where they live. All right, we're making good progress. I don't know about you, I'm feeling a little bit more used to this. Some days are hard still, but I'm getting used to it. Keep writing about your feelings, keep being real with yourself and with others. If someone asks you how you're feeling, be honest. Not mean, but honest. And yeah, take care of yourselves. I miss you and I love you, Spitfires.